Do you know the meaning of the word hysteria? It is a state in which a person cannot control their emotions. Do you know where this word comes from? It is derived from the Greek and Latin words for uterus. For the longest time, hysteria was considered a mental disorder that plagued only women, something that came along with the uterus and feminine hormones. You heard that right. Doctors, in fact, readily diagnosed women with hysteria for anything that made men uncomfortable. Today, you and I know better than believing in this sexist theory. But there is one whole country that does not. That's Iran. It is back with its hijab rule, and women who are not complying with it are being sent off to psychiatric centers. That's right, they are being labeled mentally ill. After months of protests, hundreds of hijabs burnt after Mahsa Amini's death, Iran's moral police was back on roads, harassing women to cover their heads. And as if that was not enough, now the country's judiciary is resorting to medical solutions, as if exercising free will is a mental condition. Healthcare organizations have raised concerns. They are warning that the judiciary is hijacking psychiatric medicine for its own purposes. This is scary to say the least. And the face of this movement is Iranian actress Afsaneh Baygan. In a symbolic act of defiance, Baygan has repeatedly posted photographs on Instagram. Have a look. As you can see, her hair is uncovered. She is not giving in to the hijab mandates. Baygan has also attended a public ceremony without a hijab. She's openly defying the hijab law. How did the Iranian authorities react to this is the immediate question. Well, they announced a 2-year suspended prison sentence for Baygan. They also ordered her to visit a psychological center once a week. What for? Well, to treat her, quote-unquote, anti-family personality disorder. Let me just say that again, anti-family personality disorder. Have you heard of this before? You might not have, unless you live in Iran. It is the latest tool the hardline regime is using against women. The country is failing so miserably to enforce its laws that it is now trying to gaslight women, to make them and the society believe that something is wrong with them. Afsaneh Baygan is not alone. In fact, Iranian judges also diagnosed actress Azadeh Samati. What symptoms, quote-unquote, did Samati show? She wore a hat instead of a hijab at a funeral, and she will also have to seek weekly therapy in a psychological center. And then there is actress Leila Bolokat. She has been sentenced to 1 year in prison, banned from acting and traveling for 2 years. Bolokat is also barred from using social media for 5 years. She will have to read a book and provide its summary to the authorities within 1 month. Another woman was sentenced to 2 months in prison, 6 months of psychological treatment. Apparently, she had a contagious psychological disorder that leads to sexual promiscuity. In yet another case of extreme punishment, a Tehran court sentenced a woman to spend a month cleaning corpses in a morgue. The authorities are not even sparing children and young girls, by the way. The Education Minister, Yosef Nouri, has admitted this. Now, during the Mahsa Amini protests, school children were detained in the streets or at school. They were held in, quote-unquote, medical psychological centers. They were re-educated, quote-unquote, to prevent antisocial behavior. You see, Iran is trying really hard to brainwash women. First of all, this is not the 18th century anymore. You see, this trick might have worked back then, but in today's day and age, it will not fly. Secondly, how can a judge diagnose someone with a health disorder? Last we checked, it was a doctor's job. How is a judge qualified to sign off a woman as mentally ill, quote unquote? He's not. Women are stepping out without hijabs. The government of Iran does not know how to deal with this. It is the first time women have so openly defied the hardline laws, gone out against the regime. The authorities are desperate and they are turning to extreme punishments. Women are being charged with hefty fines. They are getting text messages if spotted driving without a hijab. Authorities, in fact, are confiscating vehicles. They are pressuring employers to fire women. Unveiled women have even been refused hospital treatment. Shops catering to them are being forced to shut down. And the crackdown is not likely to slow down anytime soon, by the way. Despite all of this, but women of Iran are defying the hijab mandate.